This is Matt from InvestiQuant. We've recently updated the platform, and I'd like to take a moment and just show you what these new updates are and where you can find them. So the new updates include a brand new library called the Overnight Filters. And then in addition to that, we have now added daily pivot points throughout the entire platform. So let me take a look at where these are and show them to you. The first one, the Overnight Filters library. Over here on the left-hand navigation, you can click on Overnight Filters and that will open the library. Now currently, the library is available for the S&P 500 E-mini contract. We'll be adding the library to the other contracts as well in the near future. The way the Overnight Filters works is it allows you to test things like how big was the overnight range? How did the overnight range compare to its 10-day average of an overnight range? You can also do things like what was the price action like in the overnight session? So was it a really strong overnight session where it opens near the lows and then closes near the highs, or was it really weak where it opens near the highs and closes near the lows? You can test those types of patterns within this overnight open versus overnight range and overnight close versus overnight range section. You can also test things like where was the close relative to the prior day's level? Did we end up closing in the top half of the prior day's range or above the prior day high? You can look at different ideas like that. You can also look at where was the overnight high versus the prior regular trading hours session. So was the high in the top 25% of the prior day range, or ideas like that on the overnight low as well. Where was the low relative to the prior trading session? On the right-hand side of the page, you'll notice that we also do the Active Today section for the Overnight Filters. This will give you all of the information for what is true within the Overnight Filters library, so you'll have some ideas to test on a daily basis. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention that we've added is we've now added pivot points throughout the platform. So the first place you can see them is within the opening filters, we've created a new category called Open versus Pivot Zone. And this will allow you to test where is the open of the regular trading hours session versus the pivot points for that day. So you can look at, are we opening between resistance 2 and resistance 3, or maybe we're opening between the pivot point and S1. There's all kinds of different opening locations that we have now added to our opening filters section by using pivot points, which are available here in the Open versus Pivot Zone category. We've also added them and the price patterns. We now have pivot points available in the location of the last open and close option here within the price patterns library. So you can see what has happened when we close above, say, R3, or maybe a close between S1 and S2. In addition to that, we've also added them into the post-open filters, and now you can look at where is the intraday close, the intraday high, and the intraday low versus some of the pivot points that we have available. So down at the bottom, you can see you can look at where is the intraday close versus the pivot points. Is it between one of these R2 or R3, or maybe it's trading below S3 on a really weak day? This will give you a lot of new options for trading intraday action, which is what you can do within this post-open filters section. You can also do the intraday high and intraday low versus the pivot points. They are down at the bottom of this category as well. So there are a bunch of new things that you are now able to test within this newest update. If you got any questions about these new updates, feel free to reach out to me, Matt at InvestiQuant.com, or you can hit the Tell Us button here in the bottom right. We hope you enjoy these, and we'll see you next time.